Hey everybody, it's the Chris and Des Show. I'm Chris.
And I'm Des.
And today we're going to talk to you about She Said, starring Carey Mulligan and Zoe Kazan. Desiree, what did you think?
Okay, so we went and saw these separately.
Yes.
So I went by myself to go see this movie. And there were not a lot of people in the theater.
No, there were only two other people in the nice.
Yeah. But I've been anticipating this movie because I knew it was coming and I've been wanting to know what was going on and all this stuff. And so I went and I really enjoyed the whole thing. I got into the story. I got into the discovery. It's about the Harvey Weinstein story and how the newspaper, what newspaper?
The Times.
The New York Times broke the story and what it took to get all the right things in place in order for that to happen. And it was completely compelling. I compared it kind of to Spotlight, which actually is, Chris will tell you, is a much better structured movie, maybe. But it's that same energy of we're finding the truth and what's underneath all this stuff, and this leads to that, which leads to that, and so I just really loved it. What did you think?
Yeah, I was excited for there to be a movie about this because has so much potential, obviously, as a movie. Because I don't want to spoil it for you, no spoilers, but Harvey Weinstein's a bad man.
Newsflash.
So, spoiler alert, so Harvey is bad. He's not the hero in this story.
No.
And so I knew that these stories are going to be there. I kind of knew that they were going to have like some real people connected to it. And so I'm glad that like Ashley Judd played Ashley Judd in it. And you got to see some realness to it. I will say, the first third of the movie was not directed well. It was too many short little clips of stuff, and it kind of broke the pace of the movie. That's what Spotlight's so good at. The pace of Spotlight is like they have you wrapped around that story from the beginning, and you are in, and you are in. I was telling Des, I know I always use Catherine Bigelow as my example, but if you wanted a really good female director who was great at that tension, she's so good.
Yeah.
Hurt
it didn't
Locker.
feel like the stakes were as high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Des and I almost passed out watching Detroit. Because we
yes,
couldn't take it, Catherine. It was too intense for us, and we couldn't breathe.
Oh man!
But she's good at that. Like, I will get you, and you will be there for 2 hours with me.
Yeah.
The beginning took a second, and then I will say the second half of the movie though is a lot better paced when they like get into it. At first, it was a little like I'm trying to show you all these facets of different things, and you might need them, but it was okay. Oh, okay. And there were a few unresolved things I was telling Des. I'm like, well, why did that matter? I almost felt like if we could have edited that out and just streamlined, this is what we're focused on. Even like the Trump part at the beginning, I know they were trying to make a political statement and like connect him, but there wasn't really a connect. They didn't finish that connection. It was like this guy and now we're on to the next thing.
What she was working on before she started working on this.
Like, okay, well then we didn't need all that stuff.
That didn't bother me. That didn't bug me at all.
Well, it cut the pace for me of like, okay, now we're done with that, and now we're doing this. Okay, now we're doing this. But then once we got into the story, it was much better. Like, okay, now we're moving.
Yeah.
We're grooving. I feel like the light is now on the back. The sun came out.
The sun came out. We're dark.
But anyway, the stories are like, and Carey Mulligan is a phenomenal actress. She really is like up there with Kate Winslet, Kate Blanchett, Meryl Streep. Of like, every time she's on screen, you're watching her. She's so good.
She's so good.
She's so good, and she brings the like. I think maybe part of that too is the other girl's character, the way they developed it. She's nicer and greener and sweeter, but that kind of person with not a good director is a flat line. When Carey's on, she brings the intensity that you need in those scenes, and that's great. And so I think she gets more as she gets on more and more and more. You're like, oh, okay. We loved Andre Braugher in it also as well too. He's fantastic.
Oh, he's so good in this.
He's just such a good actor. And
so good.
I love Patricia Clarkson, but I feel like her character was kind of. I feel like there was more to her. Like she could have had more. There are a few really good scenes for sure of where like Carey Mulligan's interviewing Harvey Weinstein, and I was telling Des about I love the one at the bar where Carey Mulligan tells this man in a firm way to leave her alone. And so there's some really good scenes in there for sure. So I wish it would have been a little more consistent, but the second half of the movie was really good. I wish the whole movie was like the second half of the movie.
Yeah.
And so I like the story, and I love Carey Mulligan's performance. I do think that as more movies come out that are Oscar movies, it's gonna get pushed
fall.
down.
Yeah,
to
it's gonna fall.
The only thing that's propelling it right now is that what it's about. Like
Yeah,
it's about
the
the story
topic.
that everybody
Yeah.
wants to talk about. But it's not like exceptionally made like The Fabelmans is, where you're like,
Right.
wow, that was a well-made movie.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I think it will trickle down. I do hope maybe Carey Mulligan gets in for like supporting actress. I think they want to put her in for. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Maybe Andre Braugher as well too. He's fantastic as well too.
I don't see him on the list, but
But we like
I
him.
wouldn't mind one a little bit.
So
His part is so small.
it is
though.
really,
It's really
small. Yeah. That's the other thing about Spotlight too, is that all of them, the editors,
Yeah.
they all have these big pieces that are intricate to each other's working. Where this is really like this girl, this girl,
Yeah.
and oh, there's their editor, but she's only there for a second, and there's this other guy, and he's only there for a second.
Yeah.
So it's a little different story structure.
not
as
as
well, too.
balanced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we shouldn't get, and Spotlight won Best Picture. It's a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
But it's hard not to compare. Even all the
Yeah.
reviews I read were
Just
like
'cause of the-
Spotlight, like yeah, it is hard. But let us know what you thought. I'm glad
Go
this.
see it. I would say go see it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad
Absolutely.
these women got to tell their story. It needs to be told.
Yeah.
But let us know what you thought, and if you liked it, and let us know what you think about our channel.
Please do.
Like and subscribe, and tell your mailman. We're still
Tell
saying
your mailman,
right?
yeah,
tell your
well,
mailman to watch.
tell somebody.
We're waiting for the mailman to subscribe. We're waiting. Bye.
Bye.